Andy Katz here for Fox Sports Digital with my latest tiers dealing with the transfer portal in men's college basketball. All right, these are players who committed, and it was announced in the last week. Tier 1, Terrence Shannon Jr. goes from Texas Tech to Illinois. The Illini needed a strong, big guard, someone who can basically do a little bit of everything for Brad Underwood. Physical presence. They got that in Terrence Shannon. Number 2, Baylor Shireman goes from South Dakota State to Creighton. This was a highly coveted transfer in the portal. Summit League Player of the Year. Now he goes to the Blue Jays and has a chance to potentially be a contender for Big East Player of the Year. Number 3, a little bit of a surprise. I like the pickup of Efton Reed going from LSU to Gonzaga. Think about that. An LSU high-profile player goes to Gonzaga. That's where we are right now, where the Zags are considered a destination in college basketball. Reed was highly touted coming out of high school. He's a rim protector. He can score. Will get better offensively. They lost Chet Holmgren. We don't know about Drew Timme, so the Zags needed a big. They got one in Efton Reed. Manny Bates. Thad Matta, new head coach at Butler, in the Big East. He gets Manny Bates, who had 147 blocked shots in 2 seasons at NC State. Only played 1 game last season because of a shoulder injury. If Bates is a rim protector and a scorer for the Butler Bulldogs, he'll be a major impact player in the Big East. All right, Tier 2. Jameer Young. He goes from Charlotte to Maryland. Kevin Willard needed a scoring guard. Young can put up big-time numbers. He did it in Conference USA. He can do it, certainly, in the Big Ten. Alamir Dawes goes from Clemson to Seton Hall. Shaheen Holloway needed another scorer, taking over for Kevin Willard. And look, Dawes was a scorer in the ACC for the Tigers. He'll do the same in the Big East. This is another interesting one. Sule Boom goes from UTEP to Xavier. Sean Miller told me he loves this pickup. This player was 19-point-a-game scorer for the Miners in Conference USA. In the Big East, there's no reason he can't be at least a mid-teen scorer for the Musketeers. Davion Harmon. He goes from Oregon to Texas Tech. Now, Harmon went from Oklahoma to Oregon, and it was a little bit of a letdown. It was not as good a scorer for the Ducks as he was the Sooners. If he can come back and be that scorer for the Red Raiders, then Mark Adams definitely will fill a void on the perimeter. All right, Tier 3. Another late pickup that I think will be significant. Isaac Likely. Likely goes from Oklahoma State to Ohio State. And the Buckeyes needed bigs. Now, Likely had 6 games in the Big 12 where he scored in double figures. And there's no question he has the potential to do that. Buckeyes need scoring or someone who's a physical presence inside, and Likely can do that. Julius Marble II. He goes from Michigan State to Texas A&M. Played well later in the season in the Big Ten. I like this pickup for Buzz Williams. Physical player. I think he'll transition very well in the SEC. Landers Nolley going from Memphis to Cincinnati within the American. We'll see if Cincinnati ends up staying there. Could be off to the Big 12 soon. But look, he had a little bit of a scoring dip last season because there was a roster glut with the Tigers. I think he'll flourish with Wes Miller and the Bearcats. Cook. He goes from UConn to Georgetown. He dealt with injuries during his career with the Huskies. The Hoyas desperately need a rim protector, face the basic big who can score. He can score inside as well if he's healthy. And now he's playing for Patrick Ewing, obviously one of the best big men of all time. I think that will help him. And Caleb Lerner going from BYU to Baylor. It's not going to wow you with his stats, but he's a gamer. And I think he'll fit in quite well with Scott Drew.